Hello, my name is Sophie and welcome to Vlogmas Day 20. So today I thought I'd talk you through my reading goals for 2024. I don't have massive reading goals, but I have a few that I've written down. If you have any other ideas, I'd really like to hear them because I have a whole page in my reading journal, but I've only taken up like half of it. So not that I want to give myself lots of tasks to do with reading, because at the crux of it all, reading is a joyous hobby for me, and this is more to document it than to make it productive. But here are the goals I've set for myself either way. The first one, my reading goal in terms of numbers, the one I'll be putting into Storygraph, my aim for the year. Generally, when I started making numbered reading goals, I started with multiples of 12 because I wanted to be able to break it down by month. So when I was first wanting to start getting back into reading, it was 12 books, so I could aim to read one a month, then 24 for 2 a month, 36 for 3 a month, and then that year I only just hit 36, so I felt like stretching to 48 for 4 a month would have been too much, so I went to 42, which is still a multiple of 6, so it was 3.5 books per month, and it made sense in my head and made my brain happier than attempting to read 48. But then I've currently read 78 books, so I should have just gone for 48. That was this year. So next year my aim is going to be 52 books, which I know isn't a multiple of 12, but it is the number of weeks there are in a year. So it still feels something like I can break it down. It's still roughly 4 a month, it's just over 4 a month, and it feels achievable. If you'd asked me 4 years ago whether reading 52 books would feel achievable, I would say absolutely hecking not. Being on the back of a year that where I'm hoping to at least hit 80, I'm on 78 and we've still got a couple of weeks left of the year as I'm filming this. We'll see. Hopefully 52 is achievable. But at the end of the day, what I'm reading is more important than how much I'm reading. One of the books on my 24 in 2024 list is 800 pages long, and I don't want to avoid reading that for the sake of meeting a reading goal. It's all about balance, isn't it? Remember, this is fun and not a chore. But with that in mind, my next goal is that I would really like to get my TBR under 300 books. I've got my spreadsheet open here just for reference, and my TBR is currently 374 books, and that's before Christmas, where I'm hopefully going to get some more books. That's really close to the number of books I read this year, and that would be exclusively reading from my TBR, no new buys, no stray Audible or Kindle Unlimited books at all. So that one's a bit ambitious, but to be fair, I did make that goal before I went on a massive book buying spree at the beginning of this month where I bought 30 books. So it was more achievable when I wrote it. These are aims more than need to meet goals. Getting closer to 300 would be better than where I am now. And with that in mind, my third goal is to buy less than I read. Last year I went on a book buying ban and I did quite well because I read nearly 40 books, and I don't think, other than the fact that we received nearly 100 books for our wedding, I didn't actually buy that many books. But I think I'm going to have to put myself back on a year-long ban next year, because this year, especially at the beginning of the year where I was like, cool, I've just had a whole year of not buying any books, I'm totally a changed person, I'm only going to buy books that really mean something to me, blah 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 blah. A year later, and I've bought nearly double the books that I've read. As of today, when I'm filming this, I've read 78 books and I've bought/acquired 132. So the goal is to just buy less. I saw a video online of someone who was aiming to read 10 books before she allowed herself to buy another book, and I think that might be a good idea for me because it's essentially like a reward. It's like a sticker chart for buying books, and I think that would work well for me because then I know that there is book buying on the horizon. I know that it's there in my future, and I think that might be something I'd try. I think I'm gonna have to go on a 2024 book buying ban and or give myself a reward system. Maybe I'll actually make a sticker chart. That might be fun. It's not childish if it works. And then the last goal that's on my list so far is that I would like to continue my book club in reading one book from the wedding library per month. So I know I've already mentioned it, but just a short TLDR, because I've explained the wedding library so many times that it is like a script that's permanently in my head, and I'm quite good at saying it quite quickly. So when my husband and I got married, instead of having a gift list, we asked our guests to gift us a copy of their favourite book, so we could have a little library of our favourite people's favourite books. And in an endeavour to read them all, we take it in turns to choose one each month, and I read it, and so far he hasn't. But that's not the point. So I think in total I read 13 or 14 books from the wedding library in the year of 2023, and I want to carry that on in 2024 by choosing at minimum one a month, where we'll take it in turns. For the month of December, I've chosen My Policeman, so the January book will be my husband's pick, and I'll mention that probably in my January TBR video when he's decided what that is. The other thing that I have added to that this year is that my mum gave me a box set of the Famous 5 books as part of her gift to us for our wedding, and I've been trying to think of like a thematic way to read them, because obviously they are children's books and they're not something that I would naturally feel drawn to reading of my own accord. So I was trying to think of a way to incorporate reading the Famous 5 books into my general reading, and I've decided what I want to do is try to read one a month. I believe there are 10 in the series. Either I'll get it all finished by October, or I've got a couple of months leeway where I don't have to read one. But I think that would be a really nice way to slowly drip feed a series of children's books into my reading for the year. So those are all the goals I've got so far, but like I said, I've got space in the rest of this page. The other things that I have in my journal is that, you know, obviously I want to lessen my TBR every month, so I don't want to be reading new books, but also I do have a couple of subscriptions, so I'm going to be getting at least 24 new books from those, because I get one a month from 2 subscriptions. I've got my 24 books in 2024 that I would like to read. I made a video about that a few days ago, though reading those books is a goal, I suppose. Maybe I could add that to that page. Then I've also got a page in my journal for my alphabet challenge, so this isn't something that I'm actively trying to do, but it's just nice to document. It's something that I documented this year without actively trying to do it, and I think I've made it through over 75% of the alphabet. I think the thing for me is that making something too goal orientated can turn it into almost feeling like work, and in a way I think I kind of have already done that with reading, because I track it so diligently. I love looking at all the data, but I keep kind of having to remind myself that that's just a part of what I enjoy. I love tracking data, I love looking at statistics, and that enhances the joy of reading for me, as well as getting lost in a story. But it's the fine line between, am I reading for the sake of numbers, or am I reading to actually enjoy something? But I think at the speed I read, I'm not reading particularly quickly. I'm not rushing through a book for the sake of the numbers. So yeah, currently I've only got those 4 reading goals. Maybe I could include things like do a 24-hour reading marathon. I also like the idea of doing a 24-hour reading marathon where I read for 24 hours but not in 24 hours, so I set a timer and just kind of read as much as I can over like 2 or 3 days. Maybe I could make some other goals that are more kind of bucket list style. So if you've got any other ideas for reading goals that you think I should add to my list, please do let me know in the comments down below, or just tell me about your reading goals if you have any, or if you don't have any. I'd really like to hear about them, and they might inspire me to make some more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another Vlogmas video. Bye!